Alright guys, as always, it's time to go balls deep, and this time we are covering just how strong Asta has become so far in the manga, and you'd actually be surprised of the feats he has achieved. He's more broken than we all think. So I've been reading the manga quite diligently to keep up with the series, and honestly speaking, so I can make these videos for you guys. So as I've been reading, I take notes and screenshots of a lot of things for various topics. Now this is all the evidence I have found that explain the true power of Asta. I will be using science here and there, as well as my own analysis to make it all easier to understand and mind-blowing. Also, of course, spoiler warning, but this video may contain things that haven't happened in the anime yet. Alright, so Asta, like you know, is an orphan who was left under the care of a church in Hage village. However, unlike his foster brother, Yuno, Asta does not possess any talent for magical ability, meaning he has no mana at all, which pretty much all the characters in Black Clover universe acknowledge to be abnormal. But where most people will consider this to be a detrimental flaw or weakness, to Asta it becomes a unique advantage that makes him broken. But before we dive into that, we all need to be on the same page and break down Asta's core abilities and prowess. Asta's character of working hard and his willingness to achieve his dreams allows him to build a foundation that not many people possess in this series. This foundation would be Asta's raw physical abilities from strength, durability, agility, and speed. The fact that Asta possesses no magic power, it also facilitates his will to build on his body. He cannot change the fact that he has no magic, but he accepts it and moves forward by doing what he can do without giving up. This is an ability on its own if you think about it, which is usually given to overpowered protagonists in shonen anime, of course. But many parts of fighting is based on mentalities such as your motivation and will, which Asta has more than every other character. They all recognize him for that and how he inspires them to become better. But let me explain how much Asta trained and what level his body is at. So before Asta even obtained his 5-leaf clover grimoire, we can see him training. He is seen doing 1000 single-handed handstand push-ups and a random amount of sit-ups with ease. There are also many flashbacks of him as a kid doing other calisthenic workouts, along with a moment where Asta is seen going toe-to-toe with Yuno whilst Yuno uses his wind magic. This is showing Asta's durability and resistance to not back down from a high-pressured whirlwind, indicating his incredible strength of his core, glutes, and leg muscles. All of these forms of workout gave Asta a body which is easily recognized by his peers as an incredible achievement, and they gawk at it like, oh my god, he looks amazing. Later in the series, we continue to witness Asta's insane raw strength. Some examples are like the time Asta flung a drunk man with only one hand. The man looks like he weighs at least more than 300 pounds if you're just asking me. Then there is the time Asta punches a boulder, leaving an imprint of his fist and cracking the rock. This is with no magic power, meaning if Asta punches you in the face with all his strength, your skull will literally be crushed and cracked. We can also see the display of his strength from the use of his sword, which probably weighs quite a bit, as we can see from this panel where the Wizard King himself found it to be very heavy. The whole manga, Asta is seen swinging the sword around fairly easily and with great power behind each of his swings. Now this is evident from the time Asta wrecked Lotus from the Diamond Kingdom with one swing, along with many other examples, but it's pretty much what his character exemplifies. Asta doesn't only have raw physical strength, but he also has high tenacity and durability. This is more likely due to the fact that every muscle in his body is trained to an unreal level. All of this helps Asta with his physical feats in agility and defense. This can be seen during the Magic Knight's entrance exam, where Asta faced off against Seke Bronzaza, where he dashed straight into battle with incredible acceleration, to the point where a high-level mage such as William Vengeance believed for a second that Asta used acceleration magic. This goes to show how unreal Asta's speed and acceleration is, and later Asta further proves his speed when he chases down a thief who is aided by the use of wind magic. Asta is so fast to the point that characters in the Black Clover universe think he has magic that causes him to keep up with them. Scientifically, this is actually possible for Asta's case, as there are two main groups of muscle fibers in the human body: fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. Now slow twitch muscle fibers are used continuously for extended periods of time and have high endurance, and these are used by marathon runners, for example. Marathon runners are said to have high levels of slow twitch muscle. On the other hand, fast twitch muscle fibers provide short bursts of energy but are incredibly explosive and can generate a lot of speed and power, but it will require more time to recover, so people like Usain Bolt and sprinters do this. So the muscle fibers are very difficult to change and are often just based on our genetics. But from this, I mean, we can easily conclude that Asta's genetics favor fast twitch muscle fibers, or he trained so hard to the point that he he managed to build his fast twitch muscle fibers. However, more than likely, Asta's fast twitch as well as his slow twitch muscles are god tier, as Asta is shown to have phenomenal stamina, and also some of you think that he might be half elf and half human. Now when we go to Asta's durability, it is evident that Asta is not only protected by his incredible steel-like muscle, but his bones are more than likely reinforced by his constant strength training and weight-bearing exercises, and possibly his special diet, of course. Now this is shown throughout this series, as Asta is able to take crazy amount of damage from foes and still keep on going until he comes back on top, right? So a few examples that I notice in the manga is when he is healed by the Witch Queen, and his skin was so tough and hard like steel to the point that it was enough for Finral and Noelle to hurt their hands on him by punching and just slapping him or touching him. Asta even says it doesn't hurt at all, and they believed it to be some reinforcement magic that Asta has. Furthermore, another example is when Asta literally tanked a nuke-like magic explosion to his body, but he didn't die, he only got knocked out. One last example I would like to give is against Licht. Yes, I am saying it like a German. We know Licht is likely god tier, and he has been stated to have a bottomless mana pool and is the leader of the Midnight Sun, right? So that means he's properly overpowered. Asta tanks an attack from him point blank and he doesn't die. This means his defense is way beyond a normal person that can even tank a god tier magic. Now let me try and carefully explain why I think Asta is legit broken in the anime compared to the other characters, and why it makes sense he comes out on top. So from what I've explained so far, we know Asta has an insane body that even shocks other characters when they see what he has built of himself. Asta's training has put him above and beyond any other person in physical training within the Black Clover universe, maybe even more so or equal to Yami, who has more experience in training. Now on the other hand, every other character within the Black Clover universe have specifically trained their mana and magic to their best that they can be. But the insane thing is, Asta was given the 5-leaf grimoire, which gave him the powers to nullify other magic, basically meaning he automatically nerfs anyone that faces him to his rules in the playing field. Asta forces his opponents to fight in accordance to what benefits his attributes, which is physical of course. He can reflect attacks, throw anti-magic, transform, and even more. Now let me try and give a basic analogy here, but let's say we are playing a balanced fighting game such as Jump Force or Ultimate Ninja Storm on a PlayStation, right? And I pick Rock Lee and you pick Gaara, but for you to beat me while we are playing the game, Gaara cannot use his chakra and you still have to win. This isn't really gonna be fun, right? You're gonna have a hard time to not use your special moves or ultimate moves when I can do whatever I want. That's what Asta pretty much does in most fights he is in. This is what causes his opponents to have difficulty in adapting, while they usually have a much weaker physical body than him. Now his anti-magic sword is literally destined for him with his unique status of not having any magic ability or mana. He can utilize this sword how it was meant to be utilized. Asta not having mana also makes him undetectable to mana sensors, so he can sneak up on you, whack you in the face before you even notice him and win. We also have to debrief Asta's swordsmanship and the amazing feats he has displayed to us with these skills. Asta's first sword is called the Demon Slayer sword, and he can cut spells and deflect them with the flat of the blade. His second sword is called the Demon Dweller sword, and it's also a blade that can cut spells. However, it can also borrow the magic from other people around him, which then increases the force and range of his attacks. Only Asta can wield this sword because he possesses no mana, as other mages would not be able to use any magic while in contact with the sword and would have their mana reserves depleted. Now his third sword is called the Demon Destroyer sword, and it's basically broken too, because we are shown that it can free a person from reincarnation spell, and this is a spell that the elves casted onto humans, which replaced their personalities with that of the dead elves. This means Asta has the capabilities to even challenge the godly elven spells. Elves were known to be the gods in the Black Clover universe, and they were the ancient race of people who lived in the Clover Kingdom. The elves had such immense power and were worshipped as gods for it, and this was revealed in chapter 101. This means Asta has the potential to become god tier in the Black Clover universe because he could even challenge them. Now with everything we have said so far, Asta is a pretty powerful character, right? But it doesn't stop there, as later in the series, after the Witch Queen uses her blood to remove the limits on Asta's anti-magic, Asta learns to channel the energy throughout his body, to the point where Asta attains a form where his right side is engulfed in black anti-magic property, as shown with his right arm being covered in black anti-magic, and a black wing sprouts from his right shoulder which allows him to fly. Basically, his right side gets taken over by a demon. Now in this form, Asta increases his strength, speed, durability, and focus, along with giving him the ability to fly, right? However, this form is very exhausting, therefore Asta has to limit it to being used only twice a day, but he has pushed himself and gone for a third before too. We will explain this form and all the abilities Asta gains from this this in part 2 of this video, but let's move on to Ki, because he has even more abilities. On top of everything we have told so far, I know some of you might say Asta is kind of stupid and he lacks common sense, but when it comes to fighting instincts and learning things, you can say he is stupidly fast and amazing. His progress is way beyond a normal person. Even Captain Yami was surprised. For instance, when Yami was teaching Asta Ki in the middle of battle, which is basically a sixth sense ability that Yami trained for a few years to master, Asta learns this in the middle of battle and successfully uses Ki to block an attack from a special magic user under Lisht. Now this isn't somebody not powerful, but it's actually someone really recognized from the Eye of the Midnight Sun. Asta also learns Ki to the point where he moved in the battlefield just like Yami, undetected and unharmed, thus helping to prevail in the fight. Asta essentially gained a sixth sense in a short time span that other magic users don't have. This means he's able to detect people whilst they won't be able to detect him due to having no mana. This gives him an immense advantage over anyone that isn't up to par. Alright guys, we have gotten pretty balls deep with this so far, and I hope you all have learned something about Asta and can figure it out for yourself, of just how powerful he is compared to everyone and how he can become the Wizard King. But let's be honest here, we haven't really done justice to how much more broken Asta is. Like, I still haven't not talked about his demon form transformation, as I said, in detail, and all of the powers and feats that he has achieved, and also his swordsmanship. He became excellent and perfected swordsmanship so fast. I will talk about all of this in detail on his powers and how it happened in part 2, and let me know in the comment section below. Also, smash the like button, give us topics, DM us on Instagram or Twitter, follow us there. We also respond to you guys and we want to know what you want. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for supporting us. See ya.